Straight ahead on WBKB, takeaways from a bipartisan report on the January 6th attack.
Plus, Governor Whitmer announces a preschool funding plan, and Mid-Michigan has plans for a new urgent care facility.
And you're watching Thunder Bay News Network. WBKB News at 6 starts now.
This is WBKB News at 6. An in-depth look at news, weather, and sports. From hard-hitting news stories to local events, we're there with coverage you can count on. You're watching WBKB News at 6.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Sherry Stewart.
And I'm Tyler Cruz. A new bipartisan report from the Senate says law enforcement should have been better prepared for the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol.
The report says neither the FBI nor the Department of Homeland Security deemed online posts calling for violence at the Capitol credible. Senator Gary Peters is chairman of the Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee, which released the report Tuesday. He says their investigation revealed a number of failures that need addressing quickly.
The reaction from the Capitol Police was not planned sufficiently. We also found a lack of sufficient training, that most all of the officers did not have civil disturbance training necessary to deal with a hostile, angry mob that descended on the Capitol.
The bipartisan report recommended more than 20 changes, including appointing a new Capitol Police chief and giving him or her more authority to prepare for major events. It also calls for bolstering training, improving communication between law enforcement agencies, as well as across federal, state, and local governments. We have a link to the senator's full report on our website.
Some major websites across the globe are coming back online after an outage at a cloud company knocked them offline. Michael George has the story.
The outages began early Tuesday morning, with users receiving error messages when attempting to visit a variety of websites like Reddit, CNN, and the New York Times. The disruptions, which lasted for almost an hour, have been linked to what's being called a service configuration issue involving a U.S.-based cloud company called Fastly.
The cloud is at the heart of the internet, and when it goes down, when one cloud service provider goes down, it can have a ripple effect that impacts lots of people, services, and businesses.
Users also reported problems with Amazon's main retail website, as well as some government sites. In a statement, Fastly says a fix has already been implemented. CBS News technology reporter Dan Patterson says the issue highlights some vulnerabilities with how websites operate.
We see that hackers are pretty sophisticated and capable of getting inside critical infrastructure networks. That means they can also get into cloud providers.
The incident comes on the heels of recent cyber attacks on several international companies, including the world's largest meat processor and a company that runs a major U.S. oil pipeline. Tech experts say brief internet service outages like Tuesday's are rarely the result of hacking, but Fastly says it's investigating the issue. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Here's meteorologist Ellie Morrison with a first check of the weather. Ellie, I am looking forward to this humidity being gone and some comfortable temperatures being here.
The humidity should drop off gradually a little bit over the next couple of days, so not quite feeling as humid as we go later on into the week, but it is quite toasty out there. Rogers City checking in at 88 degrees with partly cloudy skies, 82 degrees with mostly clear skies in Alpena, cloudy in Houghton Lake with a couple of isolated showers in that area. Temperatures later this evening will be falling into the lower 70s and upper 60s. We'll start off tomorrow with early morning lows near 60 degrees, morning temperatures rising to around 70, and also not quite as warm for tomorrow with a high of 78 degrees and a light breeze coming off of Lake Huron. That said, areas to the west will get a little bit warmer. We'll talk about when our next chances of showers show up in our forecasts coming up a bit later in the program.
Thanks for that, Ellie. We'll see you in a bit. After a decade of research, the Food and Drug Administration has approved the first ever drug that could delay the effects of Alzheimer's disease.
Yeah, Sherry, and that's great news. It's the first Alzheimer's medication to be approved by the FDA since 2003. We spoke with the Michigan Alzheimer's Association about what this means for families.
Alzheimer's disease is the 6th leading cause of death in the United States, and it affects 6.2 million people. On Monday, the FDA approved Biogen's aducanumab as a treatment for Alzheimer's disease, marking it the first drug to be approved for Alzheimer's patients since 2003.
It gives me the chills. It's the first drug that's been approved, really, potentially to delay decline and provide treatment ever for Alzheimer's disease.
Unlike other Alzheimer's medications that alleviate symptoms, aducanumab targets the amyloid plaques that build up in the brains of Alzheimer's patients. By preventing this buildup, the drug in turn slows the progression of the disease, giving patients and families both hope and more time with each other.
For families, it just provides a lot of hope, and obviously for individuals who are diagnosed, it gives so much time back to them.
Barnes says that the approval of the drug should set a benchmark for future research into further treating Alzheimer's disease. However, the treatment is currently very expensive, and Barnes and the Alzheimer's Association are looking at ways to make it accessible for everyone who needs it.
We believe, of course, all people are entitled and should be able to receive access to treatment options.
Personally, Barnes has been working with the Alzheimer's Association for 20 years and even has personal experiences with the disease. And yesterday's news left her speechless.
For a lot of individuals that are newly diagnosed or that are questioning or that have mild cognitive impairment, to be able to help them or help future individuals just really, it's kind of like gives me a loss of words, actually.
The Alzheimer's Association offers several services for those in need. And for more information, you can visit our website at WBKB11.com.
And there are critics of the FDA's decision that have said there is not enough evidence to support the approval.
It's still great news.
Yes.
As Michigan parents head back to work, they'll do so knowing their kids are in safe and productive learning environments. Governor Whitmer proposed the Great Start Readiness Program Tuesday. The plan ensures that eligible 4-year-olds have access to high-quality, affordable early education. Whitmer says this helps narrow the achievement gap between high and low-income students. Whitmer says many kids face barriers preventing them from getting a quality education.
Today, too many eligible kids are stuck on wait lists and unable to access the incredible opportunity because of a lack of funding, and that's just not acceptable.
Whitmer explains the goal of the Readiness Program.
We are here today to propose an investment in GSRP that eliminates wait lists and ensures every eligible 4-year-old can find a preschool spot in their community.
The program provides services to children from families at or below a 250% poverty line. An estimated 65,000 students are eligible for the program.
That's also good news.
Yeah.
Well, Mid-Michigan Medical Center plans to open an urgent care clinic in the area. The facility would see patients with urgent and non-emergent needs. A specific location is being considered but has not been confirmed. Hospital officials say they are trying to manage capacity at the hospital. They say the new facility will benefit the area.
Kind of a quicker access to care after hours and on weekends that you don't currently have easily. And then the other benefit is the emergency department is then made available to the true emergencies.
Says although plans are in the works, his first priority is to complete the new hospital towers, which are scheduled to be finished next year. The new urgent care facility will also offer occupational services like drug testing for employers.
Alpena's City Council has reviewed and sent the township's proposed fire service contract back to township officials. Alpena Township trustees proposed to pay the city $387,000 for services, but the council countered and voted to charge the township for $100,000 a year for 15 years. Township Board of Trustees met early Tuesday and agreed to hold a special meeting June 17th to discuss specifics of the city's counter offer. Nathan Skibby tells WBKB the board is planning a question and answer forum for residents very soon.
Well, there's more news ahead for you here on WBKB. Coming up, it's my personal favorite day of the week besides Friday, and meteorologist Ellie Morrison has your 7-day forecast next.
So feeling very humid today.
It is.
For the most part, tomorrow's going to be dry, and it's looking like, especially for Thursday and Friday, the humidity not quite as awful as it is today.
Now, where can I get some protective eyewear for that eclipse on Thursday? What time is that happening at?
So that's happening just before 6 a.m. and definitely you do want to find some protective eyewear or just don't look directly at the sun. But it's going to be a cool sight to see early Thursday, assuming we do get enough breaks in the cloud cover that we can see it here.
Well, hopefully so.
Now, I know you get up early. Are you going to watch it?
I will.
I will be asleep.
And today's photo was sent in by Ann and Carl Smith. They show us a snowball bush in their backyard. Beautiful to see it stand out from the surrounding evergreens. Thank you, Ann and Carl, for sharing this photo with us. If you have a photo such as nature shots, pics with friends, or interesting sights you see that you'd like to send us, email it along with a short description to news@wbkb11.com.
That was a very interesting photo. I like it.
Very nice. Thank you, Ann and Carl.
Coming up on WBKB, how staying up late can impact your mental health, and Jake Vanderbrook will have the latest in sports. Stay tuned. And welcome back. Well, it's the dog days of summer, right? And that's very fitting here, because today's pets of the week are Calla, Periwinkle, and Carnation. No dogs, but WBKB's Kent Davis has more.
Humans aren't the only ones feeling the heat. Today's cats just wanted to lounge about. Periwinkle here cooled off by leaning against a cool water pipe. However, he was the only one of today's cats to move from his resting spot. You can easily identify Periwinkle by looking at his distinctive spotty eyes. Next, we have Calla. She is a calico who just could not be bothered. Treats? Nope. Toys? Nope. Scritches? Nope. She just wanted to nap and cool off however she could. Finally, we have Carnation. He's a tiger-patterned cat who just loves to cuddle. He really made me work for his affection. Tiger wouldn't come down, so I had to grab the stepladder and get on his level. Also, he squeaks instead of meows, and it's just the cutest thing ever. You can learn more about adoption by following the link to the Huron Humane Society on WBKB11.com.
That's a cute little noise.
Absolutely. Thanks for that, Kent. In health news, how staying up late on the weekends could be bad for your mental health and how diet could help in the battle against COVID-19. Elise Preston has some of the day's top health stories.
Diet could play a role in how sick a person gets from COVID-19. New findings in the British Medical Journal show people with plant-based or fish-based diets were up to 73% less likely to experience severe symptoms. Doctors believe the nutrients found in vegetables and healthy fish help boost a person's immune system. Not listening to your body clock could lead to higher rates of depression. A new study shows people whose sleep patterns vary tend to have poorer mental health, reporting both anxiety and depression. British researchers are calling the symptoms social jet lag. Night owls appear to be more impacted than early risers. And new research in the Annals of Internal Medicine looks at ways to safely reopen schools. Data shows that even while children can be asymptomatic, social distancing, masking, teacher vaccinations, and COVID testing all help cut down community transmission. Researchers also found that transmission is substantially higher at high schools compared to elementary schools. Those are some of the day's top health stories. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
Sports is coming up next, but first, Jake Vanderbrook is in with a preview. Jake, what do you got for us in the sports tonight?
Hey, Tyler, the Tigers return to their home diamond for a 3-game series against the Mariners. That's good, but they won't be without one of their best players. More on that. Plus, Rogers City Baseball makes their final preparations for tomorrow's regional semifinal showdown with Gaylord St. Mary. That and more up next in sports.
I think we're going to be hearing her name for a while.
Yes, we will.
And Tigers, I think they're good picking up one from the White Sox. They're the third best team in the AL.
Yeah, they are. White Sox are playing phenomenal ball. Tigers are back home tonight, and a great opportunity to take at least 2 or 3 from the Seattle Mariners.
Well, don't go anywhere. Next on WBKB News, we will be right back. Oh, welcome back. A legendary rock band is adding new shows to its upcoming tour, and Snoop Dogg just announced a new venture. Danya Bacchus has your eye on entertainment.
What up, y'all? It's the one and only Big Snoop D-O-double-G.
Rapper Snoop Dogg is joining forces with Def Jam Records.
There's a new creative consultant, Def Jam Records. Executive.
Snoop Dogg calls Def Jam the holy grail of hip-hop and says he always wanted to be a part of it.
You are an infinite.
Mark Wahlberg has a new sci-fi action movie coming out this week called Infinite.
diagnosed with schizophrenia.
It's a race against time to save humanity, and it begins streaming this Thursday on Paramount Plus. And the legendary Eagles are adding 6 shows to their upcoming Hotel California tour beginning Sunday, August 22nd in New York. The band will play a set from the Hotel California album and another set of its greatest hits. The tour ends October 23rd in San Francisco. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Join us tonight for WBKB News at 11 with Stephanie Manici. Have a great evening.